So if you haven't guessed by now, we're going to snorkel the Great Barrier Reef, although not from right here. We're grabbing a coffee because there's a problem on the boat. So we're doing an overnight snorkel, but it's also for overnight divers. And they're having a problem with one of the compressors or something. So they think there's probably going to be limited dive opportunities, which doesn't really affect us, but I do feel bad for the other people. But they're having an expert come out to really assess the damage before we take off. So we're just having a coffee, enjoying this beautiful view. All right, situation report is that we are still kind of grounded. So they are having trouble with whatever the compressor and they're still trying to get it to work. So I assume a majority of people that come on these do the overnight dive, and we're probably in the minority on snorkeling, which is fine. I don't mind that they're waiting, but it just means we're walking around the port right now.
Why we're waiting, why don't we talk about price? How much was it again? It was about 600 Australian. We have a private double bedroom, but you can stay in a bunk room if you want. It just means that you might be sleeping with people that you don't know. This price includes staying on board overnight for 1 night and then 2 days, and I think 3 or 4 snorkel trips. There's gonna be 2 today, and then 1 tomorrow morning, and then an additional 1 later on tomorrow before they bring you back, but obviously that one's gonna be optional, as are all of them. It also includes all food and drinks on board, but not the seasickness medicine, which costs approximately 9 Australian dollars, or alcohol. Shouldn't be a problem though.
So you might be wondering, why would you do just an overnight cruise versus a regular day trip? And there are actually a few main reasons why we opted for the overnight. The reef is actually quite large and there are many different places you can go, and one of the benefits of the overnight boats is that they take you further out into the reef to the less disturbed areas. So there are these massive ferries that take people out from cruise ships like the one behind me, and they'll take them out to the closer spots so they can get them back in a certain time. But for us, we're going to go out a little bit further, so our journey can be from 2 to 5 or 4 hours out to further parts of the reef, depending on the weather conditions or what our dive experts think will be a good spot to see marine life. And then we get to spend the night there, so we also get to see the stars at night, which I'm really excited for. Hopefully it's not this cloudy out there. So there are a few different benefits to doing an overnight cruise versus just like a day trip, and that's why we decided to go with it. And this doesn't really apply to us, but they also, when you're doing an overnight, you get to do a night dive, which I hear is absolutely incredible for my diver friends, but unfortunately I've had perforated eardrums and I had grommets, which requires an ear surgery when you're a child, so diving is a no-go for me. There's no one left. Boardwalk is completely empty because I think we're the only boat having issues.
1 eternity later.
The guy just came and got us, and it's finally time to board our boat. Super pumped.
By the way, the seasickness medicine, it's called Quells. It should be called Quaaludes, because definitely puts you down and it makes you very sleepy. So if you come and do this, don't take one.
Yeah, I told Bree that we weren't going to take Dramamine because it makes us drowsy, but this stuff might be non-drowsy because I didn't see it on the package, but it's very clearly on the package. So sorry. Hello from the belly of the beast. So we're in our cabin right now, we're changing. We're approaching our first snorkel spot, which was about 3.5 hours outside of the port. It is rainy and pretty rough right now, so we're actually really interested to see what it's going to be like actually getting in the water. I don't know, I'm not a diver, but I think as a diver you're maybe less subject to the elements because you're underwater, whereas on the surface we're probably going to get moved around or just float on top of the waves, I'm not sure. By the way, this is our tiny cabin where we are currently getting changed. So we got a fan over there, 2 little windows. That's our double bed. We were getting on, they were asking us if we dive or not. They were asking us if we dive or not. And Bree was like, no, I'm just a little claustrophobic. And I think when he was dishing out the cabins, he looked at us and he was like, yeah, we'll give him the one with more headroom because some of these are actually pretty small. But it's definitely going to be a snug sleep, which I'm totally cool with. This is an experience. I've always wanted to know if I could live on a sailboat. This is kind of like a good, safe trial run because it's only for 1 night.
We are not living on a sailboat ever.
Yeah, so we're gonna try it out and see if we can compromise. Also, I'm not sure how good the audio is right now because we're pretty close to the motors. We're gonna switch to the GoPro though now since we're about to enter the water and it's raining. So hopefully the video and audio quality are spot on. All right, I'll kit it out. We're in our natural habitat. Weird, I found a sea turtle.
Found a sea turtle! Our first snorkel has officially wrapped and we're going to be moving to a new location, but if you can't tell, I'm downstairs because it is absolutely freezing when you get out of the water. But when you're in the water, it's actually pretty warm. It's really doable. It's not like Pacific Ocean cold, but it's definitely warm enough that you feel comfortable swimming around and you're not just freezing and shivering to death. But when you get onto the boat, that's when the cold problems start. So I'm just hanging out below deck while I warm up. And then I think we're going to be heading to a second location, which is a little bit further for some different reef snorkeling. And then from there, I think we're going to do the night snorkel, maybe. I can't believe we've already seen a gigantic sea turtle. I can't wait to find out what we see next. Being that we're waiting for some of the divers to service, this might actually be a good time for a little boat tour. So I think we already introed this, but this is our room. Very cute. Up above, we have an emergency exit to the deck just in case things should go awry. Directly outside of our room are 2 bunks, which we have our 2 bunk mates, so they sleep just outside of our bedroom door. We have 2 bathrooms on board. One you can use while the ship is moving, but the other one you can only use when we're docked or anchored. They're pretty small, but they get the job done. There's also 1 mirror in this one, and then 1 mirror outside of it, so 2 mirrors total. This is our shower that I think 12 people are going to be sharing, not together. Pretty simple shower room, but as the sign says, no more than 5 minutes per person. Here was our little dining area, complete with a couch, and this is kind of where they set up the food for buffet style. Over here is where the crew has their kitchen. We have Jeff,
I'm not crew,
who's helping with the tour.
but I'm cooking up something.
Here's the second quadrant of the ship where the remaining 6 people are. This room is the other bathroom. Here's the other private cabin, and then the bunk room with 4 beds. So overall, a pretty good sized boat, even though the quarters are a little bit small. So this is where we are currently, but I think we're gonna be heading over to the Norman Reef.
Already off to a good start. Snorkel number 2 is done. We just showered off in the shower, which is just like a little trickle of water. And now they're prepping dinner for us, which smells so good. And I always get really hungry after like swimming or doing water activities because it's so draining. So really looking forward to that. But I think we're just gonna go upstairs and enjoy the sunset while they're finishing prepping dinner and maybe have a sunset beer.
So we just finished up all of the water activities for the day, and we ate dinner, and while the night divers went and dove, we sat is that right? Went and divin. While the night divers went and did their thing, we just sat up on deck and spoke to a really nice gentleman named Bill. So that was fun. The not so fun part is when the night divers came aboard and they had a bunch of slugs all over them. And apparently it's just pretty common when you dive around the reef. So if you come here, be aware of that. But I'm so glad that I didn't do the night dive or night snorkel. For now, we're gonna get ready for bed. It was a very long day. I think it's very surprising how tiring it gets just snorkeling and being on a boat. I think it's an early rise and shine tomorrow for the sunrise. If not, we're probably just gonna sleep in and do our last snorkel.
So they keep the air conditioning on all night, which gets quite cold actually. So Reef challenged me with engineering a solution to keep us less cold. And sometimes my own genius blows me away. That is precision engineering.
Good morning from the middle of the ocean. I think it's about 6:45 a.m. right now, and all of our diver friends have been waken up by the crew so they can start their morning dive at 7:30. Neither Jeff nor myself slept, which is probably why I look terrible right now. But I think we're going to try to get some breakfast and coffee and definitely some Pedialyte because, man, I am dehydrated. Probably jump in the water about the same time as the divers and then head back. How you doing, Jeff?
Yep, please. On the sides, so anytime we rotated, I would just like hit the wall or fall back over it. Getting anywhere. Natural beauty. By the way, it's the upper deck. We spent most of our time socializing and hanging out. You can see all the diving gear at the end of the boat, and our snorkeling gear is just basically our suit and our snorkel, which we wedge under some cracks and tie to the boat so it doesn't fall off. That is to our room. That over there is the engine. That is why we sleep.
So now we gotta head downstairs after eating some breakfast, which granted was just toast because we don't want to get seasick, and think we're gonna head out for our first snorkel with the divers. No one ever tells you how bad your face hurts after you snorkel because of the mask.
So we're on the way back after 2 days at sea. It was an absolutely incredible experience, but we're both very tired. At least the sun is out though. I think this is the first time we've had good weather so far on this trip, and it's been really nice. Even though we're hiding in the shade because we don't want to get burned. But we had an absolute amazing time, right?
Yeah, it's been such an awesome trip, and we can finally check it off the bucket list. But if you come and do this trip, you need to be aware at how exhausting it is. I think in total, our diver friends did 5 runs, and we did 4. This is no joke. Make sure you bring snacks. It's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And while we're on the topic of diver friends, please say hello to Lily and Nancy, our friends from Taiwan. They have been fantastic. Obviously, if you watch our videos, you know that we just left Taiwan to come to Australia, and it's been nice being able to share our love for Taiwan with some of their locals.
We are back at port and it feels so good to be steady. So we're gonna get our first taste of dry land in 2 days. Bree's waiting eagerly. Eagerly.
Time.
It's time. Hit it, babe. Toasty? Does it feel weird to be on land?
Feels great.